Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome to the Mental House with me, your host, Khadijah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm back in full effect. You know, sometimes you have to take a little break. You have to go and clear your mind and make a little safe space for yourself. And that's very important, family. Please do it. Please do it while you have the opportunity. Okay? But this video is so, I love Dixon White and progressive people who think like Dixon White, that are willing to acknowledge the truth and deal with the truth. Because the truth is unforgiving. It's a big ass pill that you have to swallow, and it's not very comfortable. Okay? It's not very comfortable at all. But those who have a moral compass, those who have um, a moral balance sheet, they do take self inventory. And they don't want to be the people that their fathers, forefathers, and foremothers were. Because believe it or not, I keep saying this and I say it all the time. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge it. White supremacy and racism has hurt white people just as bad, if not worse, than it's hurt black people. It, let me say that again. It has created in them, it has hurt them, first of all, worse than it's hurt us. Okay? Now, can you imagine what kind of being that you have to be to never take self inventory of yourself? Do you know what kind of um, creature you will have become, or what you manifest, if you've always been told that you were correct, you were right, you were privileged, and you were allowed to live that way? The laws were set up for your madness, and we all get arrested at the same rate, but we the only one that do time in prison. All these flawed, diabolical laws that you've set up for black people and brown people, that you yourself wouldn't dare, subject yourself to. If y'all had done, if the Iranians or Saudis had done that to you, y'all still can't get over 9/11 that you claim that they did. But can you imagine if black people had hung y'all from trees, had uh, raped you all, had stolen your children and sold them? Can you imagine if we had done that to them, what fate would await us? We certainly wouldn't get no peace. You talking about no justice, no peace? Because they are very vengeful. They have no moral compass. Otherwise, this stuff couldn't continue. And we wouldn't continue to be gaslit the way we are. But Dixon White is a very honest person. And I like the way he sees the world. And I just want to share this video with you all. Okay, family? Check it out.
You do. Black people have to, when you do a comparison morally between white people and black people, you have to take away one thing: supremacy. Black people do not have a culture of black supremacy. However, white people do. So white people are narcissists, social, cultural, systemic narcissists is who we are because of our racism, because of the lies of white supremacy. How can white people have morality as long as we have bought into the lies of white supremacy? We can't. And how does that feel to know that black people have a moral high ground? How does that feel to know as a white person that you are sick, twisted, narcissistic, and immoral, highly immoral, and inhumane? I don't use the N word. What are you doing to fight and dismantle racism that benefits you, white person? Nothing. I ignore it, I deny it, or you perpetrate it. Those are the three things we do. We ignore it, we deny it, or we perpetrate it. That's what most white people do. I hate to say it, but it's true. And that's why I say we're social narcissists and we have no moral high ground racially. We are sick, hurting people. Hurt people, hurt people. And we've been hurting a long damn time. We're hurting because of the disease of white supremacy. It's destroying white people from within. Look at the white nationalist party, the GOP. Not just them, all white people. But just as an example, look at the GOP. They're back crazy. They bought into so many lies, and it all started with the great lie. The great lie of white supremacy. It all started with that. Everybody knows that GOP now officially is the white nationalist party. That's a fact. Matter of fact, you can look at a lot of the rhetoric that they spew, and it's almost identical to what the KKK is spewing, and it has been spewing for many, many, many years. It's the exact same rhetoric. It really is. Once again, I'm asking white people to understand, you don't do this just for black people as an anti-racist. You don't do it. I do it because I care about humanity, and I can't stand. I was bullied for many years. I can't stand to see people bullied. That's one reason I do this. It's true. But I'm not here to save anybody except for white folks. Black people can take care of themselves. Yes, white supremacy creates victims. But don't think the only victims are black and brown and indigenous people. We are also victims as the people who are living this grand lie and this grand immorality of social, cultural, and systemic narcissism. White people, you're hurting. Until you heal from racism, you're doomed to live an immoral and toxic life. I've seen it in my own fucking family. Don't tell me it's not true. I've seen it in my own goddamn eyes. Living under the lies of white supremacy makes you sick. Nobody's good enough. You're not good enough. You're living lies. And it's people like Donald Trump, the grandest narcissist of them all. That's why white people love Trump. And don't think it's only the GOP, it's also in liberals. Many white liberals are just as GOPs, just in a different way. So if you're not doing anything to dismantle white supremacy as a white person, again, you are the problem. And you're only hurting yourself by ignoring it. Believe that.
At Penn Foster High School, I could stress less about school.
It's what we see happening in our present time. 2024 says it. So as black people, this is something we already know, and it's something that we have been talking about for years now. So now onto the main reason why I'm making this video. I just wanted to use that video as an opener for this conversation. There's something I've been thinking about lately. Is this thing we constantly hear from them folks when we are talking about our history and everything that's going on. We constantly hear this, oh, let's move on, let's forget and forgive and forget, let's leave the past behind, things like that. The forgive and forget saying, I think, is the one I hate the most. And I hate it because they always ask us to forgive, but I can't remember hearing them asking for forgiveness. I can't remember us ever getting apologies. They want us to forgive them, but they've never asked for forgiveness. They want us to forgive them, but they have never acknowledged that what they even did to us is wrong. They want us to forgive them, but they are still basking in the glory of colonization. Every day we see them come online on TikTok, wherever, to tell us how proud they are of colonization and how their ancestors were heroes and they should be grateful it happened. Hell, they even tell us that we should be grateful it happened to us, right? We should forgive a group of people that still date, still don't see error in what they did. And then we get to the forgetting part of it. How can you even forget when every single freaking day you see reminders of these things that happen to your people? Every single freaking day. If it's not the name of streets that would remind you, is the generational wealth that they got off the backs of our people that they still get to hold on to, that would surely remind you. And if those don't remind you, they make sure to come online to remind you in comment sections. And if they are not reminding you in comment sections, they are making videos to remind you. And something else I know for a fact, still on this forgiving and forgetting, saying, is that if it were us that did to these people what they did to us, these people are not going to forgive, nor would they forget nothing. Because when you see the way they treated us during colonization and slavery, and how they were so brutal with this thing. Not only were they brutal to our people, they were brutal to our cultures, they were brutal to our history, they were brutal towards the things that we had built for ourselves. They were brutal in such a way that if you did not know better, you would think we actually did something to these people. So, I actually sometimes ponder on these things. And one question that comes to my mind, or one of the questions that comes to my mind that I want to focus on in this particular video, is if they acted this way towards us when we had not done anything to them, how would they have acted if we had actually done something to them? How extreme would they have been if they had a reason to be brutal towards us? Because you look at how extreme they were, how evil, just like pure wicked, the heinous things that they did to us when we had not done anything to them. It makes me wonder what they would have done if we had actually done something to them. Like, let's say if the roles were reversed and we did to them what they did to us. You think these people would forgive and forget? And we have like actual examples, real-time examples of how we know that these people would never forgive and forget. When you look at 9/11, they're always talking about it. They can't forget. They always bring it up. They can't forgive and they can't forget. That's how you know that these people, forgiveness is not in their dictionary, but they always tell us to be the bigger person, do the forgiving, do the forgetting. Even though we've done nothing worthy of your forgiveness and your forgetting, just do it. But quickly back to his video, something just came to my mind. They thought that they are the most immoral, but they were able to rebrand in such a way that they are seen as the good guys, the angels. It's crazy. The way they were able to tell this story and make themselves the good guy, lied so much so they now believe their own lies. And you see people come online and be talking about, by people I mean them, right? Talking about how but this, but that, but that. I'm like, nobody ever, maybe except for the Arabs, because we don't really talk about those people. We should talk about the things that they did a lot more, right? Look at what they did to our cultures. Look at what they did to our religion. Till date, they are still battling and fighting against our indigenous practices, calling them demonic, this, that. Like, these things did nothing to you. They just had to tear them down. Just because they could at the time, I guess, right? They did that. And they did it in the name of their religion, right? So I also cannot help but wonder, African spirituality did nothing to these people. African spirituality did not make these Africans leave their continent and travel all the way to Europe and say, in the name of Amadioha, we are taking over the place. Amadioha has said, your place is our promised land. Or in the name of Shango, we are enslaving you. Or Ogun said, you deserve to be slaves. You are less than humans. In the name of our African spirituality, we are going to do this, that, and the third to you. None of that happened. But you see the way they came so heavily on African spirituality. like it did something to them at some point in time. Until date, they still come for it.
Yes, that's the problem. Yeah. You guys are thinking that you are owning everything. You were just standing there doing nothing, but you come here to judge us. No, my friend, don't distract us. This is not gospel. You are not preaching a gospel. You are preaching lying, judging. If you call this as judging, no. What kind of gospel are you preaching? So what does it say? Do you want to hear from?
Okay, what it says, y'all. What's happening here is a white couple insulted them. They on the beach, because they were practicing their religion, and these white folk came down, as you know, as they are tourists, and told them they were doing witchcraft while they was praying. Just think about that now. They in somebody else's country. Someone else's country. With the arrogance and the pompousness of telling them they're practicing witchcraft. And they need to stop. Okay. I just wanted to give you the backstory.
What do you know when?
No, but you also know what God says.
Proud about words. About words.
Because it's just already distressing.
Leave us in peace, man.
And you have peace.
I have peace, Simna. I have. I have.
It's not your peace.
It's our peace.
Then
Do you have peace right now?
your own.
If you had peace, you wouldn't come here to me and ask me what I was doing.
If
you had peace because you're not happy by yourself. No, you are not. You are not at peace. You are lying. Even those who are saying that in the Bible, God is with us, all of us. We are praying the living God. What do you want? What do you want? Where's the door? Where's the door?
Jesus Christ.
So,
Did you take him?
who?
Jesus
For
Christ.
who? For you.
No.
I was going to explain myself to you. That's the problem. What I'm doing is my business. It's my belief.
It becomes.
I don't have to explain myself to you. You are just explaining my peace now. No, sweetie pie.
You have to explain yourself.
No, my darling.
Yeah, this is a good example of what I'm talking about. She was minding her business, doing her thing, and from nowhere they came talking about, oh, what you are doing is witchcraft. Like anybody asks for their opinion. And this is something that they have been doing historically. They have been doing this. Tearing our ish down just so they can elevate their own stuff. This unwarranted fear and hatred that they have for all things African, and also this desire that they have to rip us off of our identities, to rip us off of our cultures and make us into something that they want us to be. Like, why are they so scared of us being authentic? Why are they so scared of us going back to our ancient ways? This is why I'm so glad that we are in the age of awakening. A lot of Africans are waking up to this BS and they're like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore, and they're going back to their roots, and I'm here for all of it. Because what is there that we don't know of yet that has been hidden from us for all these years? Because it seemed like they know of it. It seemed like they know of the power that is within this stuff, and they're trying to keep us away from it.
Probably at wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place. Is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nose, it can only be. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part?
No.
Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off or no chins missing. No,
No.
just the nose. Because it's a brand.
A nigga nose.
Why are doctors secretly using this weird lamp to relieve sneezing, itchiness?
Oh, excuse me, y'all. Y'all know these ads are just out of control.
Imagine if African spirituality had done something to these people. If they act like this, when literally nothing from us have ever done anything bad to them, how would they act? If not only us, but things from our cultures have perpetuated evil against them, or been the reason why we perpetuated evil against them. If we had perpetuated evil against them, it's something I think about. Imagine seeing African spirituality as evil when African spirituality had not done anything evil to you or your people. But your religion, their religion, that we know historically, the things that they did in the name of their religion, documented things, right? The Crusades, how they used it to colonize and enslave people. That's real historical facts that happened. But they don't see it as evil though. But the ones that did nothing is evil, is demonic. And it's not just African stuff they do this to, right? They do it to other spiritual practices as well, like yoga. They call yoga demonic. But of course, as an African, I'm focusing on African issues, right? And the thing is, these people know this. They know that if it was us that did to them what they did to us, they no go agree. They no go agree for our cultures, they no go agree for our religions, they no go agree for us, they no go agree for nothing. And this reminds me of what happened sometime last year. There was this white guy that came into my comment section on TikTok, and he said that as a white person, he doesn't understand why or how did he even say it? But basically, he doesn't understand how Africans are still Christians, even though Christianity was used to bring so much pain and suffering to them. Considering that people who looks like me pushed Christianity on people who looks like you, I'm shocked it's still a big part of African life. To a point that every new church that opens in my hometown is run by African preachers. It's about 10 of the 15 or so places of worship around where I live. Sorry if that seems not intended to be, just an observation and curious thing I've noticed. He knows that if it were his people that a religion was used against, like Christianity was used against us, that religion would have been banned, long banned in their societies, their countries. They would not even care about the heaven or hell that this religion is preaching. They go ban them. He knows his people. When I tell you these people know, they know that if it were them, if they are so unforgiving and still so brutal when we have done nothing to them, how would they be if we had actually done something to them? And all of this all come back together and further goes to show just how nice Black people are and how forgiving Black people are. Because if it were them, whew! And also how moral Black people are. Because if after everything that happened, we're not seeing Black people, African people on the streets, going out to hunt them folks, we can still share spaces with these people. All of that just goes to show just how human Black people really are. And I love that for us, really. I really do. I love that we have such nice spirits. I mean, people can say what they want to say about Black people, but the truth would always prevail. And at least we're not going down in history as demons. I love that for us. I don't know. These are just the random thoughts I've been having. But of course, I want to hear what you guys think.
We not going down in history as demons. That's for damn sure. We are not going down in history as demons. I mean, that's something that at this point is not even debatable. There's a lot of Neanderthal, knuckle dragging that goes on in our Caucasian counterparts. They're not human all the way. And I know a lot of y'all gonna get mad when I say that because it sounds like them old teachings, but you can't be human and perform the way they perform. With they mass murder all over the planet. Whether it's them picking up an AR-47 and shooting a bunch of kids up in high schools, or dropping drone bombs on villages full of black women and children. These people are the same. And at some point, we have to realize it is a battle of good and evil. Just like all the superpowers told you. And I still believe that good is going to prevail. So if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. I thank you for being out there. I thank you. I hope that your holidays and everything went okay, went well for you. You didn't pick up any stress, especially unnecessary stress. But I want you to enjoy your day. And I'll see you in the next video.